Okay, so now I'm going to show you something that uh, I had to suffer actually to learn, because I didn't find any actual documentation or any kind of tutorials where I could style the navigations and paginations of Swapadjs. So you can see we have some custom paginations here, right? So what Swapadjs by default gives us is this simple icon to use your navigations, or for as you can see for here paginations. So what if you want to style this? So you will find this type of slides most of your projects if you are developing the front end or the home page or portfolio pages. You will find these types of slides everywhere. So if you are using Swiper.js to style those slides, you have to add custom navigations or paginations. So even if you go to Google, this implementing these paginations or custom paginations is very much a hassle, and there isn't much reliable documentation you can find. So okay, so let's do that. Let's go back to our web page. And inside our navigation, we are just using navigation to true. So navigation to true will actually render just the default navigation. So if you want to use, let's say any other navigation or your custom navigation, you can do that. So to do that, inside our navigation, you have to enter another bracket, second bracket, and then you can define the next element or the previous element. For example, this is the previous element or the icon that will go to your previous element. That means right to left, and this is the next element. So you can actually define that. So I can just say next element. See, it is giving me. So in next element, how do you define it, or uh, how do you tell the Swapadjs that this is my this is the icon or this is the div that I want to use? So you cannot actually render divs directly. So you cannot just render an icon here, give it a div and render an icon here. You cannot do that. So to do that, you can just use CSS selectors, right? So CSS selectors, two types of, that means we can select it with ID or class name. That means whatever class name you give here, that will be used as next element. So make sure these classes are unique. You do not use that class for any other component in your file. So I always suggest that you should not use class. You should actually use ID, and the name should be very specific, that you do not use it anywhere in your project. So I'm just gonna say featured product next element. See, I'm being very specific, so I do not use this ID anywhere else. And then I can say previous element. Okay. And for this one, I'm going to say previous element. Okay. So we got our selector ready, but we do not have any uh, elements with these selectors, right? So to do that, we can just simply come here and we can just make those elements. So let's give it a div here first, and let's take a button element, right? So inside our button element, now we can say that, let's say ID, and we're going to use flex. That means, okay, let me take another button. So this button is going to be the previous button. That means it is going to be on the left side, and this button is actually going to be on the left side. So left side is the previous element, right side is the next element, right? So if I flex it the normal way, the right way, without using row reverse, so the first element will go on the left side and the second element will go on the right side, right? So let's give it the previous element ID, and this one should be our next element. Sorry, not there. Okay. Okay. So now what we can do is, if I don't do anything, just simply put previous and next. Let's see what happens, right? Okay, so as you can see, we got these two buttons. Let's actually reload again. First of all, let's just check it if everything your works, everything works correctly. Okay, so okay, see, we can actually use these two elements. So we do not have any styling. We're going to do that later. So it works, right? So this is our previous element. This is our next element. So that's how you connect your custom elements to your Swapadjs. I am going to go through that again. Inside your next navigation, you can define which element you want to use. So for your next element, you can use featured products. You can use a selector, ID selector, or a class selector. I always prefer, or I will ask you to use ID selectors. And for your previous element, you add another ID selectors and you create two elements with those selectors. So now Swiper.js will find these elements with this ID selector and use those as navigation buttons. Okay, right, clear? Okay, now that it works, now we can add some styling, right? So let's give it a class name. So let's say class name navigation buttons. Okay, so we want to position this button in here. So as you can see, it is coming on top of our elements. So it should be, we should do it with position. So what is our parent element? Our parent element is featured product. So we can say, where is the file? Yes. So we can say our featured product should be relative, right? Position relative. Okay. Then we can add our navigation buttons. Now we can say we want the position to be absolute and we want it to be top 0, left 0. And to show it in the UI, we have to add Z index, let's say 99. Okay. So, okay, did it work? Okay, it didn't work. I think the positioning is not right. Featured product, featured product. Okay. Then we have swiper, navigation buttons. Did we add the featured product to our main.scss? Yeah, see, I didn't do that. That's why it wasn't working. Okay, now it should work, I think. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, it went to the top, but we do not want that. So we should probably wrap everything inside another div. So I want it on top of just the swiper. So let's wrap everything in another component. So let's say div and let's name it main container. No, let's say swiper container. Where is it? Yes. So now let's move it to swiper container and move this one inside that class 2. Okay. Okay, so now it is in the right position. So what I want to do is I want the previous button to be here and the next button to be here. So I can say you should take full width and you should take full width too. And then you should be display flex and justify content space between. Okay. Okay, so now we got our buttons in different positions. Okay, now we want it to be on the middle, like vertically, or is it horizontally? Sorry, I always mix and match those. Justify between. Yep, we got our buttons. So now we want them to let's say left 0, right? So from top, we can say 50%. So it will come to 50%, but it is not actually on 50%. So to actually make that in or center align with positioning, you have to use the transition. So we have to say transform translate y to minus 50%. Now it should be actually in the middle. Yes, as you can see, it is in the middle. So now what we have to do is we just simply have to get these buttons and add them. So I'm not going to waste time. I'm just going to uh, copy those from my previous project. Let's not waste time with uh, simple tasks. Where is it? Product feature, right? Okay. So let's check if we actually have this inside SVGs. Next element. SVG is home next element. Okay, so this is our next element SVG and our previous element SVG. I imported them from Figma. I'm sure you can do that. You can handle this part. So I can just go a little bit faster. So for our next element, let's copy that too. And I think we have those buttons. Yes, we have those buttons. Now I just have to style those, right? So I can just actually just use our element selector. We do not need any class or ID. Let's go to featured product, and inside navigation buttons, we can say for our button, I want the width to be, let's check the width again. The width should be 50 by 50. Okay, 50 pixel by height, 50 pixel. Okay, great. We want it to be flex. Sorry, not flex. Display flex and align item center. Justify content center. Okay, okay. So we have to remove the border none, and border radius, right? Border radius 50 pixel, but it is round. Okay, we got it. Now it is not actually on the, okay, it is not actually fully on the left side. So what we can do is we can just take these IDs, previous element. Where is it? Okay. So for our previous element, we can say is we do not want to be left 0. Uh, okay, wait, that will create some problems. We can say, let's say left minus 25 pixel. Let's see if it works. Nope, it won't work. Okay, sorry, just let me check. Uh, okay, you know what? Let's actually add these styles to the button actually, not the whole element. So I want each button to I want to use positioning to use button so that I can individually handle them. So now each of these buttons are actually positioned to absolute. So let's first check if it is working like before. Yep, it is working, but they are both on the left now. We're going to fix that. So we can say the previous element should be left 25 pixel, and the next element should be on right minus 25 pixel. So by using minus, I'm just pushing those outside of the div, and I think I should use 100% here. Let's see. Okay, still not working for some reason. Okay, sorry, let me check just one. Give me a minute. Okay, I think I have to inspect. Oh, my bad. I used with 50% here too. And what else did I do wrong? With height, display flex. Got it. Okay, I think they have some conflicting classes. Swiper patterns, right? Section content.